So, Rob, can you tell us, is there any truth to Tassie tigers being around here?
Well, there's a lot more truth to it than might seem at first. When you look on the map, you'd think, no way, it's impossible for the tiger to live down here. But I can tell you that when you live in these remote places, you see there's a lot more to the story than meets the eye. And beyond that, it becomes lost in a swamp of secrecy and intrigue. And I suppose that's the story of the Tasmanian tiger all over.
So, Steve, how did you find the experience this time on the Arthur River cruise?
Bill, I thoroughly enjoyed myself, and you know what? I can't believe it's been just over 12 months since we actually did this cruise. It's been as memorable as it was last time. That's certainly, and the weather. We have been so lucky with the weather today too.
That's very true. I believe the boat's got new owners now.
Yes, he just took over in May, I believe, from KG. The skipper that we had last year, of course, who I think he was part of the reason we came back, if I'm to be honest with you. But I got to say, the new owner on this trip and the skipper have been just as good as last year, just as good.
Very good. And how did you find the meal today?
Again, no complaints whatsoever. I mean, what did I have? 2 sausages plus the burger as well. I mean, that's saying a lot for me. That's a lot of meat to have. The guys cooked it to perfection, and the fact that you can have it in the middle of the Tarhoon wilderness, like, that's just something you can't get anywhere.
Yeah, I got to admit, it's a pretty amazing view. Bit of wildlife around as well?
Well, now, I know it started with P, it was a wallaby, but the technical term was a Pamela Anderson or a Pamela Matus.
I'll hold you to that.
Look, it was Latin and definitely started with P, that's for sure.
What about the bird life? What have you seen there?
The sea eagles. Magnificent creatures, aren't they? Absolutely magnificent. The wingspan on them is just breathtaking. What do you think of that?
Oh, just stunning. And I know they had a couple of young'uns as well. I guess the most beautiful thing about this river is that it really is untouched.
Well, that's what they're saying, isn't it? Like, it's probably one of the last untouched places in Tasmania. And tourism plays a very big part. And was it all about conservation?
Conservation includes tourism.
And it's trips like this where you really get to see the true value of Tasmania.
Excellent. Well, I guess we just got to enjoy and suck in the rest of the view, hey?
Absolutely.
How have you found the trip?
Oh, it's been wonderful. I loved it.
Yeah? What's the best part of the Arthur River cruise?
Probably the people, really, and I love the boat. And it's just been a really lovely day.
Yeah, it sort of makes you feel like Audrey Hepburn, doesn't it, on the African Queen?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It's been a great day.
It has been a great day. How do you find the skipper and the crew?
Really, really friendly, really welcoming, and they love this river, which is nice.
Yeah, it's just fantastic, isn't it? One of the last untouched wildernesses, hey, in Tassie.
Yeah, which is even more special. So we've been able to experience it, so it's been great.
That's very true. I believe they get some pretty big crays down here, is that right?
Yeah, apparently up to 1 metre.
1 metre, yeah. Well, how about if I just show the viewers just how big they actually get, hey? So this is one of Arthur River's local yabbies, just a small one as you can see, and I believe it's a bit of a baby, is that correct?
Yes, they get bigger.
They do. Anyway, back to you, Steve.
I'm with Greg on board the George Robinson here on the Arthur River, and Greg is actually the 4th owner of this particular business. Greg, tell us how you came to own this business.
Well, last May, my partner and I, well actually it was April, we came down to Tassie in our camper van to do a 3-week holiday in the northwest coast. And everywhere we went, people said, have you been to Arthur River? Have you been to Arthur River? So the other half said, we've got to go to Arthur River. So at Arthur River we came to, and we did the Pieman cruise. And someone said, oh, they've got a river cruise. I said, well, we've done one river cruise, why would you do a second one? And they went to Parks and Wildlife, and Hazel at Parks and Wildlife says, you've got to do the cruise, you'll see white-bellied sea eagles, you've got to do it. So we did it. And on the way back they said it was for sale, and here we are.
So was it KG that you had last year as a skipper?
Yep, KG and Greg. Yeah.
I mean, we had them last year, and that's actually what brought us back to do it this year. I mean, the boat itself, though, the boat is fantastic and it has a lot of history behind it. Can you tell us a bit about the history of the George Robinson?
All right, where to start? The original builder was Turk Porteous, and Turk was a local entity, grew up here, loved this river, loved the landing that we cruise up to. And in the late 1960s, he started talking about bringing people up on some sort of cruise boat up the river to the landing. And so 1970, he started building a boat. It was to be a wooden hull boat. 2 years into it, he realised it needed to be a steel hull. The rumour is that an accidental fire happened and the hull burnt down, and the insurance company helped him out. That's only a rumour, of course. And so he bought this hull. It was built for a fishing boat. He had it taken to his backyard in in Burnie. And 10 years later it emerged. And 85 was the first official cruise, but it was all certified. So that's 30 years ago. So in either late September, October, the dates depending on people whether they'll be available, we're going to have a 30-year celebration.
Great, that's wonderful news.
Yeah.
So the boat's been around for 30 years. Now, it's hard to believe that the boat all the way down here in West Coast Tasmania is actually, I believe, the top half is made on the plan of the Sydney-Manly ferry. Is that right?
Well, that's what we've been told as well. Come on out. You're welcome. There's room out here. Turk, he basically wanted it to look a bit like one of the ferries on Sydney Harbour. So that's what he built. And it's just pretty good looking boat, isn't it?
It's a brilliant looking boat. I think that's one of the reasons we love this boat. Greg, just finally, I mean, you've only had the business, not too long, but have you had any really special moments happened on this boat yet?
I think the best way to answer that is about either last week or the week before, Rob was skippering and we're up there, and I said to Rob, he's been skippering almost 12 years now, and I said to Rob, do you ever get sick of just cruising up the river and back? He went, no, I never do. He said, there's always something. He said, this is such a beautiful river that he's never ever bored. And I think that sort of sums it up. I think the longer I'm here, the more my appreciation for the river, the forests, the animals, the white-bellied sea, it just grows, it doesn't diminish.
Well, thanks so much for joining us today, Greg.
You're very welcome, and all the very best with your journalism.
Thank you so much. Now, don't forget, guys, if you are travelling down to the west coast of Tasmania, or indeed just Tasmania itself, definitely pop down to here at Arthur River and get aboard this fantastic cruise. Now, we only have a few days left in Tasmania, so don't forget to continue following us at www.whitehamburgersmapoftassie.com, and of course, don't forget Instagram, our Facebook channel, and right here on youtube.com/WHMOT. Thanks very much.